I think what I was thinking about a little bit while we've had these awesome presentations has been like what you said, Noam, this kind of battle for the Bible, or this fight between religious traditions and moral leaders being kind of priests of empire versus chaplains for a movement, right? And right, looking around today, we see Christian nationalism, this kind of idolatrous worldview that enables an elite strata of mostly white Christian men to rule society and amass enormous power and wealth, gaining so much traction. And like, whether it's Mike Johnson being the third most powerful person in the country who is a self-professed Christian nationalist, or whether it's how close Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and a form of religious extremism is to the White House again, or whether it's the Supreme Court, criminalizing the unhoused and overturning the right to abortion. We can go into all of the things that have been going on. We see this long-standing, but now rearing its head even more forcefully, and kind of the taking up the Bible and bludgeoning poor people and people of color and indigenous people and women and LGBTQ folks and others, in ways to kind of be distracting and demeaning and dividing and dispossessing people. And so I was thinking some about all of the kind of horrors of the moment, but then also some of the hope, the 2,000 biblical passages throughout the Christian Bible, the Hebrew scriptures and the Christian Testament that talk about justice for the poor, whether it's, Mary's song where the mighty will be torn down from their thrones, and the poor will be lifted up and fed, or Jesus's inaugural sermon where he's talking about preaching good news, not the bad news of eviction, not the bad news of genocide and war, not the bad news of healthcare cuts, or not expanding and extending a child tax credit. Good news, housing, abundance for all, lifting from the bottom so everyone rises. Or I was also thinking in the conversation we're having here about some of these organizing strategies, survival strategies, that people are enacting in communities across the country. I think of something like the Apostle Paul's kind of mutual solidarity for the poor, like the hope for our society doesn't come from the top. It always comes from the way that people, feed and clothe and house people from below, not letting the government off from doing that, but instead showing, this is the kind of beloved community. And again, that's, as a Christian pastor, that's what Paul spread. That's what the early Christian communities were these places of mutual solidarity, and projects of survival, pending revolution. And so I don't know, I was thinking about that and always love to be in conversation with you, Tracy, about how do we bring this kind of prophetic message at a time when it sounds like there's an equal sign between extremism and hate, and Christianity and religion.